As the human body ages, countless processes begin to slow down and shift, sometimes subtly and sometimes drastically. One of those processes is the natural production of nitric oxide, a simple yet profoundly important molecule that influences everything from blood flow to immune defense to brain function. Most people don't give it much thought until issues like high blood pressure, fatigue, or cognitive decline begin to appear. The truth is, nitric oxide acts as a key regulator in our bodies, and understanding how to maintain and even enhance its levels with age could very well be the secret to longevity and vitality. Nitric oxide is produced in the endothelium, the thin layer of cells lining our blood vessels. This gas molecule works as a powerful vasodilator, which means it helps relax and widen blood vessels, allowing for smoother blood flow and better delivery of oxygen and nutrients to every cell in the body. In youth, nitric oxide production is generally efficient and abundant, but as we grow older, several factors conspire to reduce this natural synthesis. The enzymes responsible for making nitric oxide become less active, oxidative stress accumulates, and lifestyle factors such as poor diet and inactivity further hamper its generation. The result is a cascade of negative effects that can touch nearly every aspect of health. Poor circulation is one obvious consequence, but nitric oxide also plays roles in neurotransmission, the immune response, and even the way our mitochondria function. To make more nitric oxide as you age requires a multi-pronged approach, and the good news is that it is not only possible, but within reach of anyone willing to make a few meaningful changes. One of the most effective strategies starts with movement. Exercise, especially aerobic and resistance training, has been shown to naturally increase nitric oxide production. The act of moving your body, especially when it increases your heart rate, creates what is called shear stress on the endothelial lining of the blood vessels. This shear stress is a trigger for nitric oxide synthesis, the enzyme responsible for producing nitric oxide from the amino acid L-arginine. Regular physical activity essentially teaches your body to keep making nitric oxide efficiently, and this becomes more important with each passing decade. But exercise is only one piece of the puzzle. Diet is equally critical, and what you eat can either support nitric oxide synthesis or hinder it. Certain foods are rich in nitrates, which the body can convert into nitric oxide through a different pathway than the one that relies on L-arginine. Leafy greens like arugula, spinach, and kale, as well as beets and celery, are nitrate-rich and serve as fuel for this alternative nitric oxide production route. This nitrate-nitrite-nitric oxide pathway becomes increasingly important as we age, especially when the L-arginine pathway becomes less effective. Eating these vegetables daily or incorporating beet juice into your routine can make a significant difference in maintaining optimal nitric oxide levels. Another powerful ally in the quest to boost nitric oxide is sunlight. More specifically, ultraviolet rays from sunlight can stimulate the skin to release nitric oxide into the bloodstream. This is one of the reasons why spending time outdoors, especially in the morning or late afternoon sun, can feel invigorating, and why blood pressure often drops after a walk in natural light. The skin acts almost like a nitric oxide reservoir, and sunlight unlocks this store, improving circulation and overall vascular health. Of course, it's important to balance sun exposure with skin safety, but moderate sunlight exposure is not only beneficial for vitamin D synthesis, but also for nitric oxide production. Breathing patterns also play an unexpected yet significant role in nitric oxide generation. Nasal breathing, especially slow deep breathing through the nose as opposed to mouth breathing, allows the body to capture and use nitric oxide more effectively. The paranasal sinuses produce nitric oxide, and when we breathe through our nose, some of this gas enters the lungs, where it enhances oxygen uptake and helps open the airways. Practices such as yoga, pranayama, and other breathwork techniques tap into this principle and have been shown to improve cardiovascular function, partly through enhanced nitric oxide availability. Simply learning to breathe properly through the nose slowly and deeply can be a transformative practice, especially for those who tend to be stressed or anxious and breathe shallowly. Supplements can also play a role, although they should complement and not replace natural strategies. L-arginine and L-citrulline are two amino acids that are often used to support nitric oxide production. While L-arginine is the direct precursor, L-citrulline is converted into L-arginine in the body and may be more effective for long-term nitric oxide support because it bypasses the liver and is less likely to be broken down prematurely. Other compounds like beetroot powder, garlic extract, and even certain probiotics have been studied for their ability to enhance nitric oxide levels. If someone is struggling with issues related to circulation or blood pressure, these supplements can provide an added boost when combined with a healthy lifestyle. Sleep and stress management also tie into nitric oxide production. Chronic stress increases levels of cortisol and other inflammatory markers that can suppress nitric oxide synthesis. Similarly, poor sleep disrupts the body's natural repair processes, including the maintenance of the endothelial lining where nitric oxide is made. Practicing mindfulness, reducing screen time before bed, engaging in relaxing activities, and getting consistent restful sleep are all part of an integrated strategy to maintain nitric oxide production into older age. In fact, it's during deep sleep that growth hormone is released and tissue repair is prioritized, both of which are processes that interact with nitric oxide function. The role of nitric oxide in brain health is also critical to highlight, especially as cognitive decline becomes a concern for many aging individuals. Nitric oxide acts as a signaling molecule in the brain, helping neurons communicate and regulating blood flow to different areas of the brain based on need. A decline in nitric oxide levels has been linked to conditions like Alzheimer's and general cognitive impairment. Ensuring sufficient nitric oxide supports not only vascular health, but also mental clarity, memory, and mood. Many of the same strategies that support cardiovascular nitric oxide production also benefit the brain, especially physical activity and a diet rich in nitrates and antioxidants. Speaking of antioxidants, it's important to address the balance between nitric oxide and oxidative stress. While nitric oxide is beneficial in the right amounts, it is also vulnerable to degradation when oxidative stress is high. Free radicals and reactive oxygen species can destroy nitric oxide before it has a chance to do its work. That's why including antioxidant-rich foods in the diet, such as berries, dark chocolate, green tea, and colorful vegetables, can help preserve nitric oxide and prevent its premature breakdown. Vitamins C and E in particular have been studied for their ability to stabilize nitric oxide and enhance its bioavailability. In essence, antioxidants act as bodyguards for nitric oxide, allowing it to function optimally in the face of internal stressors. There is also a fascinating connection between gut health and nitric oxide production that is just beginning to be understood. The bacteria in the mouth and gut play a role in the conversion of dietary nitrates into nitrite and eventually nitric oxide. The use of antiseptic mouthwashes, for example, has been shown to reduce nitric oxide production by killing off beneficial oral bacteria that help kickstart this process. Similarly, an unhealthy gut microbiome can impair the body's ability to generate nitric oxide from food sources. Supporting gut health through probiotics, prebiotics, fermented foods, and minimizing unnecessary antibiotic use may therefore be a valuable and often overlooked strategy in maintaining nitric oxide levels as you age. Even the act of expressing gratitude or engaging in enjoyable social activities can influence nitric oxide production. Positive emotions and a sense of connection have been linked to lower inflammation and better vascular function, both of which support nitric oxide synthesis. The mind and body are deeply interconnected, and the more joy, purpose, and meaning one experiences in life, the more the body tends to function in harmony. This includes the maintenance of critical molecules like nitric oxide. It's no coincidence that people who live long, healthy lives often stay socially active and mentally engaged. They are giving their bodies constant reasons to stay youthful at a molecular level.